Most coaches know the difference between a good team and a championship team comes down to mental training. But most coaches are also wondering, how do I fit this into my already overflowing schedule? There's not enough time as there is. What if I were to tell you that you could be doing mental training with your team in as little as 30 minutes or less a week? And it could make all the difference. Your team will be able to respond to setbacks better, rise to the challenge and the pressure of the moment, and be able to get off this roller coaster of what team is going to show up tonight. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I plan out my season to incorporate mental training in as little as 30 minutes or less a week, my exact season planning process, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes into my gym where I coach and show you what it looks like for my team to be doing this on a weekly basis. Now, if I haven't met you, I'm Coach Bre. I am a mental performance coach for girl athletes, but I'm also a longtime head volleyball coach, four-time state champ coach, and our secret weapon, mental training. Most teams lose because of mindset issues, but also most coaches don't know how to teach it or feel like there's just not enough time. That is exactly where our program, the Plug and Play Elite Mental Game for Teams, comes in. You do not need to be a sports psychologist to teach these skills. And in fact, you don't need to spend a ton of time on Google trying to search this out on the internet and piece it together for your athletes. We have this system that is packaged for you to literally plug and play. It's done for you. And it's the exact system that I use with my team. A little bit goes a long way when it comes to mental training. So come behind the scenes with me as I show you my exact planning process and I take you into my gym to see exactly how we do this. Welcome to my planning session. This is where I make sure that I am prioritizing mental training. So I'm going to basically take a look at my season. I have about 12 to 13 weeks in a season and plug in when we are doing mental training and for how long. So two documents I'm going to show you. This is my season listed out in weeks, and it has on there like the matches, what we're doing that week, any events that are happening. And then I have our plug and play EMG 30-minute a week training plan. So this lists out all of the trainings that are inside the program that I'm going to figure out where I'm going to plug them in to my schedule for the year, for the season. So I'll give you a closer look at this. As I mentioned, here is my entire season listed out by week and all of the events that are going on that I need to be aware of, who we're playing, all of that. And then I have this column here for mental training. So once a week, for the first few weeks, we front load more, sit down and do the workshops. And in this section is where I'm going to write out like, here's where we'll do training number 1, here's where we'll do training number 2. And then eventually I'll be able to see kind of a whole plan for the season. And what I'm plugging in over here is our 30-minute a week training plan. So this lists out all of the trainings that are inside Plug and Play EMG and how long each training is. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, I know this writing is a little small, but basically all I did was take these lessons based on how much time they were and what we were doing that week, and I plugged them in to the week. So most of these are happening on Mondays. We're doing like a Mindset Monday focus, and I carve out 30 minutes on Mondays for us to do this work. So I know that these lessons will fit into that time frame. The only consideration I did, I actually know that 2.7 on here is a vision board workshop. And I wanted to do that more at the beginning of the season. So I moved 2.7 up here, but everything else I just kind of did in order of what was recommended inside the 30-minute a week training plan. I know that postseason, we start that around here. So I want to really front load a lot of these skills before postseason happens. And I want postseason to really be about preparation for that. So we have a postseason prep section in there, but that's really what it looks like. And as I go through, if I need to adjust, I can do that, but that gives me a rough outline of what I'm doing during this, 20 to 30 minute a week carve out of focusing on mental training. And once they learn their daily mindset routine, so their 3-2-1 Brave, which comes in lesson 2.3, after that, now I have a routine that I do with athletes at the start of every practice. It's called 3-2-1 Brave. I'm actually going to take you to our gym and show you how I do that piece of it, as well as how we do, the 20 to 30 minute a week piece of it as well. So really there's two pieces to this. It's, carve out time once a week. A lot of times I do that at the, beginning of the season, then we kind of taper off. And then once they get through phase two, really the first half of phase two, they're learning a daily mindset routine that they will be doing before practice. And even that 5-minute routine, if you have no other time to do anything but that, is super effective for just keeping their mental skills top of mind. It incorporates breath work, visualization, affirmations, mindfulness. Like it kind of has the whole package in there. So I have it on here that they're going to learn that in week 2. I want to do that as soon as possible in the season. So then after that, they have that skill, and we can be doing that at the start of every practice and taking 5 to 7 minutes during right before practice starts in order to do the 3, 2, 1 Brave. So I'm going to take you to my gym and show you how I do all of this. All right, here we are. This is where I coach volleyball. I'm going to give you a little tour and show you how we structure our mental training. So let's go. Got my helper here getting us in the doors. Here we go. You're not supposed to walk on that CR. Oops. Okay. All right. So this is our commons area. This is where I would do mental training with my team at least once a week in more of a larger group situation. So as you can see, we have some tables that are around. There's a way to project onto this screen. So I would just play the 5 to 15 minute videos, and then I would have my team sitting at these various tables. I usually do it by team. So I would have like the varsity team or the JV team, and they would be like in small groups. So they would watch, like the 3-minute video. I would have a little discussion question, and they would talk about it in their groups. As they are watching the video, they all have either a notebook that they're doing like little activities in, or I haven't actually ever done this, but you could print the workbook for plug and play, and they would have things to follow along. But I just give them a little notebook that looks just like this, and then they're doing that with their group. So that's how we do mental training once a week. We do like Mindset Mondays, or carve out a little bit of time here in this space. I'm going to show you the most beautiful thing in the world. How many of you have just wonderful storage areas that look so organized, such as this? This is challenge number 1. So I'm going to show you what we do at the start of every practice to work on our mindset. This is a 5 to 7 minute routine. And even if I don't have time to do like the larger group stuff once a week, I still do the 3, 2, 1 Brave, because it is the fastest way for them to make sure that their mental training stays top of mind. Let's go take a look. Okay, so the first thing that I do when I come in is I'm putting up a pre-practice on the board. So I've planned out some specific activities that athletes do when they come into the gym after they get the nets set up. So they first start with their pre-practice, so they'll get going right away. So what athletes would be doing right now is this pre-practice routine. Imagine that there are a couple of nets set up. They're doing their pre-practice. They'll do that for about 15 minutes. And then I will blow the whistle and have them check in for practice. After athletes check in, they actually grab their journals for their daily mindset routine. So this is the routine that we do. It takes 5 minutes before practice. We do this before every practice. We sometimes do it before games too. And here's kind of what it looks like. I give them about 4 minutes to do those first 4 things, and then I stop them and I lead them in a visualization. And when they're done with all of that, they're ready to go to team practice. So that daily mindset routine, like I said, takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It happens after their pre-practice, and then they go off into their teams and have about a 2-hour practice. Okay, hopefully that was helpful just to kind of see how we do it. It's not as hard as you think. One time a week, if you have 20 to 30 minutes to carve out to do something more dedicated in like a classroom or a commons area, and then daily mindset routine, 5 to 7 minutes before practice. Once you do it for a couple weeks, your players really get into the habit of it, and they come to expect it and like it to help them focus before practice. Coaches, I hope that's helpful to see a real life example of how this works, how I plan it out in my season, how I do it with my team, and how simple it really can be. A little bit goes a long way when it comes to mental training. Now, if you're curious about this, and you want to hear from other coaches who have been there, done that, doing plug and play with their teams, getting results, go ahead and watch this next video. It's our Coach to Coach Mastering the Mental Game panel. I bring on a panel of coaches who are doing it real time, implementing plug and play in their programs as well. And you can hear from them to see how they're doing it and the results that they are getting. There's nothing quite like hearing it from people who are in the trenches and doing it too. So go ahead and check that next video. I'll see you there.